Professor Nora Henry is responsible for this interview with Dr. Beverly Hosten. Dr. Hosten has spent most of her adult life in Broome County. During her early professional life, she did her medical residency at Wilson Hospital and worked as a physician at the Endicott Johnson Corporation. She and her husband, Dr. Beverly Dorsey, resided on Binghamton's west side where they raised their children. Having spent decades here, Dr. Hosten provides insights from her experiences in Johnson City and Binghamton. We are very fortunate to have Dr. Hosten as a contributor to our story map. So you have kindly introduced us to some of your family just a minute or two ago. Yeah. But can you tell us a little bit about your education, your move to Broome County, and anything you'd like about your family?
So, as I said, I was born in the center of the universe, which is New York City.
No wonder you said the universe.
Yeah. Now, New York City has 5 boroughs.
Yes.
So I was born in Manhattan, but I was raised in Brooklyn. So I lived in Brooklyn. And both of my parents are from the West Indies. But I'm a first generation Caribbean African American.
Yes.
First generation.
Yes.
I and my brothers. And so we were born, the fourth child was born in Brooklyn.
Okay.
But all of us, the first 3 children were born in Manhattan. Okay. So I came to Broome County after meeting the love of my life at Howard University when I went to medical school. And we started.
Wonderful university, I might say. I have friends there, yeah.
It is one of the first class African American, historically black universities.
Yes.
And so we met at Howard in medical school, and we dated all the way through until our junior year. And his mother died in our junior year, and I said, life can be so short, so why don't we get married? Now, I was the one who made the decision about when we would get married. So we did make that decision, and we were married in September, which was the beginning of our senior year. And so when I graduated, my degree is M. Beverly Hosten. So, MD.
Yes.
My husband is Beverly R. Dorsey, MD. So he's Dr. Dorsey and I'm Dr. Hosten. And I just make that distinction. Now, it doesn't trouble me when people call me Dr. Dorsey. I just know that professionally, I'm Dr. Hosten. Okay.
Yeah, my wife is Dr. Henry, and we're married. I'm Fraser, she's Henry, so I get it.
I'm glad. So that's why I'm in Broome County, in Binghamton, because my husband wished to come home to Binghamton. I didn't want to. I wanted to go to Queens. I wanted to stay in New York City, and I wanted to intern at Kings County probably, because that's one of the it's pretty well-known hospital throughout the area there and Metro and throughout the world. It's pretty famous. But in those days, women went with their husbands.
Of course.
So that's why I'm in Broome County.
Okay, fair enough.
I found it a good place to raise our children, and I found it a good place that I was happy. I was too busy to be unhappy, as some of other women of color who come, they didn't find they didn't find a group that they could associate with or would associate with. I was too busy for that, because basically a wife, a mother, homemaker, and then a physician, and then a community person. And 24 hours in a day don't allow you to do all those things.
You sound like my wife.
Busy. So it wasn't that I was asocial, but I had so much to do, right?
So you came and you're a physician. Tell us a little bit about being a physician in Broome County, who you worked for, etc.
Let's see. We interned at Wilson Hospital. um, I did my internship at Wilson, and then we decided to have a child, and we had Adrian. I don't think I had started to work as a physician as yet. And then after Adrian, I believe I worked, I can't remember exactly.
No, that's okay.
But I believe I worked for Endicott Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
And then we decided we would have a second child. And Janine was born in 1960. I stayed home with her. With both children, I stayed home until they were about 2.5 years old. So I was a full-time mother then. And then when Janine was 2.5 years old, I went to work with Endicott Johnson.
Okay.
I believe that's right.
Okay.
Because I remember then I had to learn how to drive, and I did not know how to drive. My husband he was very good in teaching me, very patient and so on. But still, when you're doing it on your own and you're going down not Riverside Drive, Grand Boulevard.
Grand, yeah.
And the first time I drove, I was driving to work. My just shook on the accelerator, and I said, "Beverly, you've got to do this. You've got to do." So I straightened up, and I got 2 Endicott Johnson. Right.
Tell me about like a day being a physician working for Endicott Johnson. What was it like?
Well, it was busy, and I found that most of the patients were very nice. Some of them seemed to like coming to women, particularly the old European women. They seemed to have a better interaction with a female physician. And there weren't many female physicians on EJ staff. And they did not seem to have any problems about the fact that I was a black woman. And even the male patients did not seem to have any problem with that either. You knew who you were getting, and you came if you wanted to.
Right.
Nobody coerced you. So I know that the Endicott Johnson patients had the prerogative of selecting to whom they would go. Maybe those that they wanted to have attend them might not have been at the particular hour or time. And that, I believe, would have been the only decision-making factor in whom they. So I don't, you're asking me to remember things.
Oh, I understand. You're doing great.
60 years ago.
You mentioned Europeans. Can you tell me the kind of ethnic groups that you recognize?
We recognize most of the people were from the first ward, which is the basically Slovak area. And so basically most of the people that you would see would be from that area. People who were in the Endicott, you would see more of a mixture of Italians and Slovaks and other ethnicities, but most of them in the first ward would be Slovak. There would be a few people who are not Slovak.
Maybe Ukrainians? Yeah, did you encounter any Ukrainians? Because I remember reading that Ukrainians were in that area as well.
Well, I think that it was hard for me to distinguish who was Ukrainian, who was Russian, who was Slovak.
And they were all there at one time or another.
Hey, Europe has a mixing pot of peoples.
Which way EJ is what they used to say at Ellis Island.
Yeah. And some of them could barely speak English, particularly very older women.
Yes. Another question that's in my mind is that you've seen a lot of change in Johnson City, Binghamton, Endicott. I'd like to focus, if we can, on Johnson City, because you worked there a little bit. What kind of changes did you observe? How much change did you see? What kind of change in Johnson City?
In Johnson City, well, you know, I worked there.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean that I socialized there or
Mhm.
anything like that. Because I remember as an intern, I would go to All Saints Church
Mm-hmm.
on the other side of Main Street.
Yes.
That because it was an Episcopal church. And on my days on, my weekends on, I would be able to squeeze a moment or two and go to church there. So I know where that church is. And then there have been changes in Johnson City, but I was not I was not as observant of those
Mhm.
changes as I would be more so observant of changes within Binghamton.
Well, tell me a little bit about that, because I think there's been similar changes. So what
Well-
would you point out?
Well, I can still remember some changes in Johnson City, and I would describe them. The medical itself was very prominent. I mean, people knew where it was. Now it's not. It's gone, and you have the Shore Theater there. Although part of the building, the old medical, has been converted to a theater, to a place of culture, etc.,
Mhm.
etc.
Mhm.
And you know Naomi.
Yes.
Noma.
I know. I know what you're talking
She's a
about.
great promoter.
Yes,
of,
she is. She
and
is.
arts, which is really wonderful.
Yes.
Now I'm trying to think of someplace else in Johnson City that I remember.
Did you travel down Main Street much?
I was on Main. I did go on Main.
Did you
I
see
walked on
changes on Main Street?
Oh, yes. There used to be a restaurant that I know a lot of the staff at Wilson would go to. Can't remember the name.
But it was on Main Street.
It was on Main Street, and I remember if you're walking east on Main Street, it would be on your right-hand turn.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think the Robin.
Oh, Red Robin.
I think the Red Robin was there.
It's still there.
Yeah. Well, all right, then I remember that.
Yeah.
And then let's see. There have been prominent change. And then the churches. Now, the one church that's still there is
St. James?
St. James. I never went there, but
Yeah.
it's still there.
It's still
and
there,
then
yeah.
there's is it the Methodist Church?
Oh, Sarah Jane Johnson. That's what
Yes,
it's called. Yes, that's
I
still
remember
there. Oh,
walking
yes.
on that. And then the churches on the corner of, well, they're not there. They moved up to up the hill.
Mm-hmm.
Were they Baptist churches?
I'm sure there must have been.
I
The
would-
churches were very prominent.
I remember them being there, and they have been replaced with the parking lots.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and those parking lots, I know what you're talking about. UHS has significant
Yes,
parking
yes.
there, yes.
And then, let's see, what else? I remember once or twice going to the Johnson Gardens. Mrs. Johnson had beautiful gardens. And one of her gardeners was a patient of mine personally. And I went over there, and they were really exquisite gardens. Well, now they are no longer there. You have a bank there.
Yes.
But the house is still there, but the house has been reconverted into a bank.
Yes.
But down that, behind that, beautiful, beautiful gardens. I remember going there once or twice. Change in the area and the change sociologically nationwide.
You're absolutely correct. Yes.
So
It's
yeah, well, I've seen a lot of changes, and you have seen a lot. And yes, you almost sometimes decry some of the changes that have occurred in our society,
yes.
in our country. I remember one time a young man was murdered someplace, and I was living here then, and I went into my bathroom and I just cried. This is my country.
Yeah.
It really reached my very heart to feel that I was living in a place where people could be so hateful to each other.
Yeah.
So
It's
inhumane
sad.
to each other.
Yes.
That's philosophy. I think I've covered everything.
I think you have. I really am very grateful to you to take the time to do this.
Well, I had no trouble taking time, but as I said, I didn't expect that other people here. I wasn't prepared.
It's a good thing I didn't fill up this room, huh?
No, I would have said, no.
Goodbye.
That's not what we bargained for.
Well, thank you again.